Hello everyone, welcome to this session. We will talk about hyper-casual state in 2023, and we have some amazing industry veterans with us. I will wait a bit for you to settle because there is still some movement. So I will begin with introducing our participants. We have Ivan from FreePlay as publishing director, and we have Artem as public manager from Kwalee. We have Nebih as CEO of Garawell Games, and we have Anugreh as founder of Serenico Labs. So let's start to know you and your company, and start with Ivan, please.
My name is Nebih, as you may all know. I'm the CEO and founder of Garawell Games. Happy to be here, and I hope we will enjoy the session as the new trends of hyper-casual change towards a different era, let's say. And I couldn't quite get...
Sorry?
Shall I start with the question?
No, just introduce your company. Maybe you want to mention about your games, because you have 2 games.
Yes,
right?
yes. I couldn't really hear what you said.
Yeah,
sorry for that. Your voice is coming from...
Yeah.
Okay.
We have actually launched our 2 games at the peak era of hyper-casual. I could accept that, actually. And it was around 2021 and 2022 when the pandemic was like at its peak. And we can all accept, I guess, that that was the gold rush of hyper-casual games. Right now, we cannot say the same thing, but our games are doing well. I can also say that, and the reason is mostly because we are focusing on live operations of our games a lot, and it's not only a game that we try to launch for the top charts, but it was a game that we projected for a long term, actually, from the initial phase, and we are happy to have achieved that with Bridge Race mostly, and later on with Color Match, and we are always trying to come up with projects that are long-term, and in that regard I think the evolution of the hyper-casual market is suitable for us, because at the end if you are aiming for short-term projects right now for hyper-casual, it's not a method that's going to work soon, because as we all talk, you will ask questions regarding hybrid casual as well. That's how it's evolving, and there should be more depth to the games and more content in the games, and we will talk about all of this stuff, I guess, with all of our colleagues as well, but mostly what we are focusing on is more quality products, and in that regard we always try to achieve that from the first day, and we are happy that it's actually evolving in that way, and market is saturating. Yes, we have issues with the UA and monetization sites, but to be honest, as a development studio, we are not really in that subject, and we trust our partners, publishers, in that regard, and I guess most of the publishers here are gonna have to say stuff regarding the publishing side of the subject. But yes, overall, I can say that the market is definitely evolving, but not drastically, I would say, because the methods that we started from the beginning, most of them are staying the same, but we have to just do tweaks at some points. Like, let's say, just giving an example here, but what we were told by publishers in the first days was to produce a prototype in 3-4 days at latest. Like, then there were CTR tests instead of CPI tests, which were actually logical by then, because you would get to test the CTR and get knowledge for the CPI side of it as well. But now I would say let's spend 2 weeks or 3 weeks for a prototype, because who knows, you'll come up with some hybrid casual or casual idea maybe instead of a very basic hyper casual idea. So in that regard, we have to do some tweaks, but the engine stays the same for us. That's the most important part. We are looking for skilled Unity developers still, And we are testing unique ideas still. That's gonna stay. I guess it's gonna stay forever. Like in the industry, if you're trying to publish a new game, you have to find a unique idea. That's for sure. And the monetization techniques are changing, but not that much. Like we still have the RVs and banners and interstitials. But
sorry for interrupting. Before entering deeper into the subjects, let's introduce other participants. And please, Artem, could you introduce yourself and maybe mention about your company, maybe your style about hyper-casuals?
Yeah, with pleasure. So hello, my name is Artem. I'm a publisher manager at Kwalee. So I've been working there around like 2 years already. So Kwalee actually, this is the developer originally created, and right now we are focusing as well on hyper-casual publishing, hybrid casual publishing, and PC console publishing. So we're trying to adapt our strategy for any potential opportunities on the market. So right now what I can say about the hyper-casual situation overall, it's interesting, it's really challenging right now, but as well as it's so rewarded. So you need to focus mostly on quality rather than on quantity, and to make sure that you straight away can understand what the final product will look like, and let's say invest more time in preparation, understand your monetization strategy, what kind of gameplay will be, what the core loop. So not just trying to push advertisement to see how it works and then figure out how it's going to be gamified. So try to predict straight away what the final product will look like and how you can go from step to step to achieve each of your milestones.
Thank you very much. And Ivan, could you please continue with yourself?
Yeah, my name is Ivan. Nice to meet everyone. I'm from FreePlay, and we are also a publisher as Kwalee. By the way, congratulations with 1 billion downloads. Was
Thanks
achieved,
so much.
I think, a few months ago, right?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, yeah. We did the same a few months ago as well. So yeah, we kind of competed in this way. So FreePlay always was after the quality. Even before we were a publisher, we were a developer, and we took pride in the quality of our games. We never did prototypes in 3 days, and we never were after that. So in a way, hybrid casual and the overall market change that is happening now is beneficial for us because like our approach was already adapted to this. So we'll talk after the introductions about hybrid casual, obviously, but just like FreePlay is right now sees the transformation of the market as like a good thing in general because we're getting better games, and that's what we are after here. Okay, go on.
Thank you. Anugreh.
Sure. So hi everyone, I'm Anugreh. I'm the founder of Serenico Labs. I have come all the way from India. We actually started our company back in 2019, and we work on a spectrum of games. We work on hyper-casual games, hybrid casual games, and we are also into servicing of VR, etc. But our main focus has been hyper-casual and hybrid casual at the current point of time. Back when we started in 2019 or late 2018-ish, our main focus was obviously hyper-casual, but we have seen the transition of hyper-casual converting into games from a Flappy Bird game to a game which is called hyper-casual right now. It has evolved a lot. So I understand that the definition of hyper-casual has been changing since the term hyper-casual came, and we can talk more about it when you ask more deep questions on that.
Perfect, thank you very much. And finally, I'm Özhan from Mud Studio. I'm head of gaming. We make hyper-casual games, and we had 2 hit games in the past, and we are making hyper-casual at the moment, and also we are gonna try some hybrid casual games as well. And it's good to have all of you here because we have amazing experience on the stage right now. So let's start with our first topic. What has changed about hyper-casuals? So who would like to start first?
Yeah, I'll start.
Yes, please.
I love numbers, and I have like regular YouTube channel where I speak about the market transformations with numbers and predictions. So I really love this topic. First of all, I just want to acknowledge that the hyper-casual market is like dropping now, the shrinking. If we compare the Q1 2023 and Q1 2022, you will see that the drop is between 20 and 30% in terms of downloads. That we all see, and this is happening because of the drastic change in the monetization aspect. That overall eCPM is dropping now. Because of that, the traditional hyper-casual model is no longer reliable. It is much harder to get positive monetization with just ad monetization. So if you needed, let's say, like 10 interstitials and maybe 5 rewarded videos before for your game to succeed, now you need practically twice this amount in order to have like ROI positive economy. So because of that, a lot of hyper-casual games that would do great a few years ago, they are now struggling, and we rarely see new games in top charts now because of that. It doesn't mean that there are no new hyper-casual games, it's just that it is much harder to have a positive economy with the same number of downloads that we had before. And games are much harder to do now because of that. So people spend more time to polish, to try and increase, try to increase the game design, try to introduce other sources of monetization for the game to succeed. And this takes way more time now, way more attention, and it is much difficult for studios now, that's for sure. So, maybe we should ask studios how they feel about it.
Sure, I can talk about it from a studio's perspective. Honestly, it has changed a lot from a studio's perspective because there hasn't been any new trends. Like every other 6 months there was a new trend, like runner games came up, simulations came up. And back in like 2011, in the pandemic peak, we were getting like 20 to 25 hit games and in top charts like every other month. Like the top charts was filled with hyper casual, but now that we see like there are many less hyper casual games in top charts right now. It's not discouraging to see. We understand the market is shifting and there are various factors. As you said, the monetization is very hard. It's getting very harder to scale a hyper casual game. And from a publisher's perspective, as in whenever we talk to publishers, the publishers had some certain KPIs that they needed 25 cents CPI, they needed a 40% retention and a 10-minute gameplay back in 2020 or 2021. But now even publishers say we do not have any specific KPIs for you to ask. If you have a great game, the playtime should be really high or the retention should be really high. We could see if we can get the marketability down or not. So even publishers are open to see what is working in the market right now or not. And I think that has also gotten us to explore more genres like arcade idle came up, or these hybrid casuals that we are seeing have also come up, that a lot of new studios are trying out. So I think it's an interesting time, and the market is also shifting towards, and I think a lot of publishers, hyper casual publishers, are now exploring hybrid casuals wherein they are getting an in-app purchases monetization aspect inside of their games as well. So for example, Voodoo has been really focusing on casual and hybrid casuals right now because you must have all heard that Andrea Shea, I guess, he said that hyper casual is dead. So this kind of was a worrying thing for a studio perspective, but I understand that everybody is evolving and they are trying to figure out what could work in the market. And I think this is the point where we need to have stronger teams in order to find what exactly trend will be next, so that we can quickly adapt to it and develop quality games in order to service them.
I think I agree with what you said, and we have to look at it from the tip of the iceberg and see just the top charts first. If you look at the top charts from 2 years ago, what has changed? It's very obvious actually. We see more casual games in the top charts, while not very new games in from the hyper casual parts in the top charts, and I believe that's showing that the user behavior has also changed as well. They are not really trying to play the viral games that much anymore, and it means we have to find something deeper in addition to the unique ideas and come up with something new. But if you look at it from the industry's point of view, we are doing mobile games, and this is the device we are working on. It's not changing yet. We have to still focus on that regard, and I think what's going to happen is that as we develop new and unique ideas, we will have to find new strategies to monetize this, and not maybe even the old methods like the IAP and subscription may even be changed with something new that we don't yet know. But still, right now, what hyper casual games and developers should be focusing on is to increase the IAP percentage in their income revenues, and work on that to produce more content in their games. And right now, what we see in the industry is that soft launch and global launch phase of games have increased from 2 to 3 months to maybe 5 to 6 months at the moment, and that shows how much effort should go into developing a really successful game. And yet, as I said in the beginning, on the tip of the iceberg, we don't see that many games coming up and hitting the top charts in hyper casual at the moment.
I think I absolutely agree with all of your points. So I would like to add extra that definitely the production time increased. Definitely the art quality increased a lot because of requirements of the current market situation. So players willing to get more, better, new, fresh game experience. That's why we as a publisher developer need to provide this something new, extremely polished, qualitative type of game experience which is possible. I would say overall hyper-casual definitely changed a bit, but the main core pillar is still the same. This is simplicity, shortless play session, engaging, and fun first of all. It won't be changed. However, the way of monetizing strategy, the production investments definitely need to adapt for the current marketing needs. I would say the preparation right now takes way longer compared with what was previously. So you need to understand, first of all, what exists currently on the market, what's trends. Then you need to absorb all of this and figure out, identify what's been missed in these current trends games. This is like a crucial one to analyze before you start any future production. Then, of course, it's time investment to polish your games, to prepare the completed, fun MVP which you can test, and not only check the classic, let's say, only CPI which we've done in the past, let's say, 2 years ago, but as well you need to identify the whole in-game KPIs to figure out, let's say, how it can be improved. What will be, can you increase, let's say, the interstitial session, impressions, rewards, impressions, sorry. As well, you need to adapt and implement more as possible right now with EAP in the game, because again, right now to acquire users became a little bit more expensive compared with it was previously. That's why you need to provide, let's say, long-term project, and after that, once you release the game, it's just the beginning, to be fair. After that, it's going to be a long, interesting live ops when you need to push and increase, let's say, interest of your game to all players on the market.
Thank you very much. So I want to mention about 2 things. One of